I want you to think back to the house you grew up in as a child. I want you to picture a room in that house that didn't exist. I want you to pretend it did. And the whole time you're a young child growing up into your adolescence, and until you leave home, you're aware of this room in the house. And the room has faces on the wall. Dead people's faces. The faces of dead people who are related to you. The faces are made of wax, and they were made immediately upon death of the individual whose face it was. The wax was put on the face in like a modern version of a wax museum. An accurate representation of your dead ancestor's dead face was made and was put on your wall, connected by a painted line to his ancestor, your even earlier ancestor, whose wax face made after death is also on the wall. And that is connected by another line to his ancestor, whose wax mask is there as well. These may have been full-color versions of these ancestors of yours. And their names were there. And from your very earliest childhood memory, you're aware of this room. And you're aware of who these people are. And you're aware of what they did. It's a little freaky, though, isn't it? Now you know how Julius Caesar felt growing up. Now, I remember being terrified by paintings, completely innocent and innocuous paintings in my house when I was a child, and I know my children get freaked out at the slightest thing like that, but to Julius Caesar and people like him, this ancestor room, as it's sometimes called, had a profound effect on firing their ambition. You know, the ancient historian Sallust said that the Romans described their children's spirits as blazing like flames when they would look at the sight. The ancient historian Polybius said, quote, "It would be hard to imagine a more impressive scene for a youth who aspires to win fame and practice virtue." End quote. To these people who spent time amongst the Romans or who were Roman themselves, they thought this was a good way to create in your young people this desire for achievement that was the hallmark of Roman society during this time period. You're getting the Dan Carlin version of the decline of Republican Rome, and just like every other version you will read, it's different. All societies produce ambitious people. My dictionary defines ambition as an earnest desire for some type of achievement or distinction, such as power, honor, fame, or wealth, and the willingness to strive for its attainment. And I think someday they're going to find some genetic component to this that determines how much ambition a person has or doesn't have. But to me, Republican Rome is sort of an historical experiment where you try to see how much you can hone, that natural diamond by the cultural carrots and sticks you have. Because Rome had some of the most intense carrots and sticks when it came to ambition as any society I've ever seen.